Alright, so we are live. Alright, let me switch this. Cause I do not like it when it's all the way just looking at my. Gotta fix this every single time. There you go. I think that's better. Yeah, now I guess like. Anyways, I guess the angle's right, but yeah. Alright, let's see if. So we are actually live, so that's good. Dude, the thing is that. Alright, so we have a lot of videos that we can watch today. Been like, kind of looking like yesterday, just because it's kind of hard to find videos that you want to react to. So, yes, it's just kind of hard to find videos to react to sometimes. I have just taken like a few, what's it called, just a few minutes to go find videos to look at, to add on my watch later so that the stream can go faster. And I have quite a lot of videos that we can watch, to be honest. I'm actually very happy about it. So we're gonna get straight into it. Start recording right now. Alright, it's recording.
What would you say if I told you I smoked mood cannabis with my dad?
Well, I'd say, what?
You think
Alright, so we're gonna be watching Why Deserts Get So Cold at Night by Reactz.
of a desert and you picture heat, blistering, relentless. Turn your flip-flops into melted goo kind of heat. Sand
Damn, that's
dunes
so
rippling
crazy.
under a blazing sun, mirage puddles, sunburns, camels that look like they've given up. But here's a twist that might surprise you. Deserts can get freezing cold at night. Like, bring your parka, water turns to ice, better cuddle your camel kind of cold. And it happens almost every single night in some places. How is that even possible? How can a place cook you by day and chill you to the bone by night? Welcome to the strange physics of the desert. First, what makes a desert a desert? Contrary to popular belief, being a desert isn't about being hot. It's about being dry. A desert is defined as any region that receives less than 10 inches of rainfall per year. That means Antarctica is a desert. So is Greenland. And yes, so is the Sahara. The common factor isn't the heat, it's the lack of moisture in the air and soil. And here's the first clue. Moisture is really good at storing heat. So when a place is bone dry, its temperature has a hard time holding steady. And that leads us right into the nighttime mystery. Why deserts get so hot? During the day, let's start with the daytime. The desert gets blisteringly hot during the day because there's nothing stopping the sun's rays from hitting the ground directly. No clouds, no humidity, just raw, unfiltered solar energy slamming into the sand. And sand, by the way, is terrible at holding heat. It heats up quickly but doesn't store that energy well. So during the day, surface temperatures can spike to 120 degrees Fahrenheit or even higher. You can fry an egg, you can burn your feet, but wait until the sun dips. Now the sun sets, and everything changes. As soon as the sun goes down, the heat party is over. Remember how we said sand doesn't store heat well? That means it also loses heat really fast. There's no water vapor in the air to trap outgoing infrared radiation.
Alright, but yo, that also means that since there's no like clouds, that means that at night, like the sky view, if you look up into the sky, you look at the stars, you will have the best view ever because there's no like air pollution, no clouds. There's nothing stopping you from just looking up and having an amazing sky full of light. So I'm guessing that's a good view at least. Aside from the part that you might be dying from thirst, but there's some positive and bad.
There are no clouds to reflect heat back down, so the warmth just leaks into space. This is known as radiative cooling, and in deserts, it happens with brutal efficiency. Without insulation, the temperature can drop by 40 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit in just a few hours. In some high-altitude deserts like the Atacama or parts of the Gobi, it can go from shorts and sandals weather to frost on your sleeping bag cold in one night. So where does the heat go? It doesn't go anywhere fancy. It just escapes into the black void of space. At night, the Earth radiates heat back upward in the form of infrared waves. In most places, clouds and moisture trap some of that energy and reflect it back down like a thermal blanket. But in the desert, no moisture, no clouds, no blanket, just bye-bye. That's why deserts cool down so dramatically. Let's talk specifics. Sahara versus Atacama versus Mojave. Sahara Desert. Daytime temps often reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit, but nights can drop to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or even close to freezing in winter. Atacama Desert, Chile. Because it's at higher altitude and
I'm pretty sure there's... What the fuck? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Oh, I logged out of it. No. Fucking hell, dude. Oh my god. I clicked the wrong button. Oh. That's gonna be annoying to go ahead. We're gonna have to go back. Delete that, but
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done.
altitude and extremely
But that also means that if, well, not also means, I know there's people that live out in the desert, so I don't know how they do it. Because there's people that will actually like these temperatures. It's kind of hard to believe. Not a lot in the world, but there is some people that actually enjoy this type of weather. Don't know how, don't know why they would like that, but they do.
dry, temperatures can drop below freezing at night despite sunny, pleasant days. Mojave Desert, USA, a classic example of swing weather. 1 hour, you're sweating. 3 hours later, you're shivering in a hoodie. The bigger the gap...
Oh shit, I'm dumb as hell. I have to go that. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck am I doing? I'm fucking up the whole video. That's so dumb. Alright.
a thermal blanket. But in the desert, no moisture, no clouds, no blanket, just bye-bye. That's why deserts cool down so dramatically. Let's talk specifics. Sahara versus Atacama versus Mojave. Sahara Desert. Daytime temps often reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit, but nights can drop to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or even close to freezing in winter.
That's not that bad.
Atacama Desert, Chile. Because it's at higher altitude and extremely dry, temperatures can drop below freezing at night despite sunny, pleasant days. Mojave Desert, USA. A classic example of swing weather. 1 hour, you're sweating. 3 hours later, you're shivering in a hoodie. The bigger the gap between day and night temperatures, the drier and more exposed the landscape is. How animals survive desert nights. Desert wildlife are masters of thermoregulation. They've evolved over millennia to handle both scorching days and freezing nights. With
Damn, that's
style,
crazy.
jerboas dig burrows that stay warm overnight and emerge only after sunset. Sidewinder snakes use the sand itself as insulation, curling beneath the surface during cold spells.
That's
Scorpions slow their metabolism to conserve energy and heat. Each species has a trick, because out here, adapt
Yeah, that's actually insane that there's animals that are able to like just change their temperature from being like really hot to being cool weather. But that's also one thing that I would, that's also one of the reasons that I would not go into the desert, just because that one snake that will just hide in the floor, that's scary to me. Because if you get bitten by that, you're pretty much dead, because the snakes that are out there in the desert, they have like their venom is able to kill you within like minutes, like half an hour to an hour, you're pretty much dead. Or same with scorpions, that it can just pretty much paralyze you for life or kill you pretty much. So I wouldn't say that's worth it. I mean, you might go on like a camel or something like that, but even that, I feel that would be scary.
and yes, so
Dude, what the fuck is up with this? Nothing's working today.
trick, because out here, adaptability isn't just a perk, it's survival. And even insects like desert beetles have adapted body shapes and postures that reduce heat loss and maintain moisture. Tiny strategies that mean the difference between life and death.
How do they get water though? Like, if you're like an animal in the middle of the desert, how do they know where water is? That was like always like one of my questions. How do they know? For example, like camels, when they're in the desert, they know where to go. Or like, I don't know, like a snake. I'm pretty sure a snake still needs water, regardless if it's just chilling in the sand all day. It needs water to survive. So where the fuck does you get that?
Some larger animals, like foxes or desert hares, use their large ears as radiators during the day and then tuck themselves into dens or crevices at night to conserve warmth. The desert forces every creature to become a thermal strategist. Now imagine being a plant in that environment. You're stuck in the ground. You can't run. You can't borrow a hoodie. All you've got is biology, and that's where things get interesting. First off, water storage. Most desert plants, like cacti and succulents, are basically squishy water balloons with survival degrees. They store moisture in thick, fleshy tissues, not just for drought, but also to buffer against cold. That water acts as a thermal reservoir, absorbing heat during the day and slowly releasing it at night. It's like having a built-in hot water bottle, except it's full of cactus juice. Next, let's...
Yeah, what if you're in... Because now my curiosity is off the charts right now. What if you put like a cactus in like a rainforest? Yeah. What if you put like a cactus in a rainforest? Would he survive, or would that be too much for him? Because they're pretty much masters are like regulating the heat and all that stuff. So would that work? Or why do they not grow like rainforests? I don't know if they do.
talk insulation. Some plants are covered in waxy coatings that help reduce water loss, but also trap heat. Others grow tiny hairs, yes, plant body hair, which create a thin layer of still air around them, like a natural puffer jacket. It's not much, but when the night air drops to near freezing, every fuzzy little fiber helps. How humans have learned to adapt. Long before air conditioning, desert cultures developed ingenious ways to cope. Nomadic tribes build tents with thick insulating materials like wool or layered cloth that keep heat in at night. Adobe houses store heat during the day and release it slowly as the temperature drops.
What is that made with? Hold up.
Night. Adobe houses store...
It's an Adobe house. It looks like the type of dirt house that you would build in Minecraft, but it looks kind of cool. It's like smooth. And I like the ladder that they have. But yeah, but dude, there's people that live out in the desert. I still don't know how they do it. I don't know how they enjoy it. Because what do you have to do? Go out and walk in the middle of the desert? You want to like exercise, get a run in? Cause I'm pretty sure there's no fucking gym near you or like a Chipotle or anything like that. But like they like living there. Like how do they get their food? Like how far into the desert do they live? Like I'm just...
heat during the day and release it slowly as the temperature drops. Desert clothing is loose-fitting and layered, light for the day, protective for the cold evening. Modern explorers still rely on layering and thermal blankets because underestimating a desert night can be fatal. And even today, architects in desert cities like Dubai or Phoenix apply old wisdom in new forms: thermal mass materials, reflective coatings, and advanced insulation. It's a reminder that human innovation often begins with understanding nature. We've even developed temperature-sensitive windows and passive solar designs that automatically adjust to daily heat swings, technology mimicking survival strategies nature invented ages ago. Here's a cosmic twist. Mars is essentially one giant desert, with daytime highs around 70 degrees Fahrenheit and nighttime lows plunging to negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit. No atmosphere, no moisture, no thermal blanket. Sound familiar? In fact, scientists study Earth's deserts, like the Atacama, as proxies for Martian conditions. And future Mars explorers? They'll be living in an environment even more extreme than any desert on Earth. So that weird temperature crash in the Sahara, consider it a training ground for space.
Dude, no one would make it alive if they went to Mars. For one night, nobody would make it alive just because from like 70 degrees, that's kind of cool, but negative 100 Fahrenheit, like any plant that you have will just die because a plant will think it's the middle of fucking winter in one night, and then they will like try to adapt to those temperatures. Like going into winter, like the plants will pretty much die. So I don't know how we're trying to go into Mars. I don't think we'll be able to survive into Mars, but I guess there might be a way.
NASA even tests rovers in desert regions on Earth to simulate Martian nights. That's how harsh and useful these ecosystems are for science. Here's the kicker. Climate change is starting to mess with the desert's cold nights. Because greenhouse gases trap more heat in the atmosphere, even places that used to cool dramatically at night are now holding on to more warmth. That might sound good, no more freezing toes, but it's terrible for ecosystems that depend on nightly cooling. Some desert plants need cold nights to trigger flowering. Some animals need it for reproduction cycles. The desert isn't just hot and
Reproduction
dry,
cycles?
it's precisely calibrated, and we're nudging the thermostat. Add to that the rising use of artificial lighting and urban sprawl in desert cities, and you get something called the urban heat island effect. Even in places that should go dark and cold, the temperature clings longer, reshaping life in subtle but powerful ways. In short, deserts are warming, day and night, but the loss of their chilling contrast may turn out to be more disruptive than we expect. If you've ever camped in a desert, you know the night brings a silence so deep it's almost loud. But listen closely, and you'll hear things. The rustle of nocturnal creatures emerging from burrows, the distant howl of a coyote, the sudden rush of wind sweeping over dunes. The temperature drop transforms not just the air, but the entire mood. It's a haunting, beautiful calm, a reminder that the desert isn't dead at night, it just whispers. Sometimes the stars feel closer than the ground. The desert sky, free from light pollution, becomes a theater of galaxies. Cold night, warm stars. So next time you think of deserts as just blazing hot sandscapes, remember, they're also icy, unpredictable, and thermally chaotic. In a way, deserts are like cosmic mood rings. They feel everything. They absorb all the heat, then give it all away. Every day is fire, every night is ice. But beneath the extremes, there's balance. A delicate, ancient
highway
rhythm
desert?
between sun and sky, sand and stars. The kind of rhythm that lets life exist in the unlikeliest of places. If we pay attention, deserts can teach us more than we expect, not just about climate and physics, but about resilience, adaptation, and beauty in harshness. So,
But like, I don't know how camels are able to, like, while they're carrying people, like, sand is not a very stable, like, thing to step on. Like, your foot will, like, kind of like mold into the sand if you step on it. So how does the camel not end up like breaking a leg while just walking, while carrying somebody? Because they're carrying themselves and just another person with like everything that they're carrying. I don't know how they don't like end up like slipping and just like breaking the foot or something like that. Especially if you're like at the top of a hill, but I don't know. I guess I have a ways that I don't know about. But yeah, it was an interesting video. And put a stop to that one. It kind of sucks that there were so many problems going on with this video. But I'm gonna have to edit it out. Have to deal with it. Alright, let's go on to the next video. 1 second. Alright. I love this guy. Oh shit.
I have a problem. I mean,
Alright. Oh my god, the audio in the last one might be ass. Bro, let's get it started. Alright. So we're gonna be watching Everything's Expensive by Degenerosity.
I have a problem. I mean, I have many problems. My hair is always a mess. My upload schedule is a mess. And I'm pretty sure the man that lives in my closet isn't my roommate, but homeless. But this problem is more important. Plus, he gives me free Twinkies, so he chill. My problem is that everything is expensive. Like everything. Food, houses, clothes, you know, all the things a human needs to live are at prices that even Psycho from Psyche K couldn't afford. It ain't even just those. Even our favorite pastimes are just costing more and more money. The movies used to be and still is one of my favorite places to go when I want the big silver screen experience. Then I walk into the theater and they charging damn near $20 per ticket. $10 for kids between the ages of 2 and 3.
Yeah.
How charitable. So if you got a family with you, you most likely gonna...
How much were the prices back in like, I don't know, that early 2000s for a movie? Because I'm pretty sure it shouldn't have been as much as it is today. because I remember going like a few months ago to watch. I don't know what movie it was. I think it was. I think it was the Spider-Man movie, new Spider-Man movie. It was like a while ago. Actually, it was probably over a year ago. Into the Spider-Verse, something like that, and it was. I remember. I think it was like $19, $20 from one entrance just for one ticket. So I would consider that expensive. Consider that if it used to be $5, yeah, that's a big. Just like triple the price now.
Could be spending $100 just to get a seat, and you'll feel even worse afterwards after watching the movie, and it turns out to be ass. I feel bad for all you parents out there paying for your family's tickets, probably thinking, dang, I should have gone out and got some milk. I'm broke. Not only that, the concession stand prices have always been high, but today it's robbery. Why does a large drink be costing me $10? Does it come with a meal or nachos at least? Nah, it's just a drink. I want to burn this place to the ground. Large buckets of popcorn always be pricey. That's why I never considered buying those exclusive promotional buckets they have for new movies. Cause most
The buckets, for me, are one of the dumbest things you can purchase. Why would you want a bucket? Like, there's like certain ones that I would say like, oh, they look cool. Like the one that's like Deadpool. When the Deadpool 3 came out, I think it was like Wolverine. It was just like a giant one. It was like a different one. Alright, those I'll let them slide just because they actually look good and I actually like the Deadpool movies. But for like the Moana one that he just showed, why would you spend money on that? There's no reason that you shouldn't be spending money on that at all. You can use it in better places. Because they end up. The thing about the buckets is that you could have spent the money somewhere else. And the thing about the buckets is that you could have used the money anywhere else. Because they're not cheap. They're usually like $20-$30.
of the time, those buckets be costing $20 more for less popcorn. Like, why would I even consider buying these? Oh.
Yeah, this is the one
I'm taking this home with me. It's getting to a point that whenever someone want to go see a new movie, I sometimes be thinking, nah, it'd be too expensive. We should hang out at the public library instead. It's free and there's unlimited entertainment.
Johnny, it's too big.
Also, a bit of a tangent. I hate that we have to pick our movie seats now. I miss one of those first people to show up to the theater, get the best seats. Cause now, after the movie I paid to see finishes, I can't walk into another theater cause I might be sitting on someone else's seat. And you might say, oh, DJ, you're not even supposed to be doing that in the first place. I paid $30 to be here. I have the right to steal movies. Speaking of entertainment, these streaming prices are getting too much for real. I've complained about this before, but since that video, it's only gotten worse. Netflix be hiring their prices every like 2 months, and everything you actually want to watch is on different services. Oh, you want to watch that show? You gotta subscribe to Hulu. You want to watch sports? Well, you gotta subscribe to Fubo. But your specific favorite sports team don't play matches on there, so you gotta also subscribe to Peacock too. You want to watch nature documentaries? You gotta subscribe to Orangutan TV. But they only show orangutans on there. If you want to see more animals, you gotta get the multi-nature package for an extra $20 a month. Like, why? Stream.
But that is so true. There's so many different like streaming platforms that do this. Not really on purpose, just because they want like users to go to them. So I hate that sometimes you have to have multiple subscriptions. Because for example, if I want to watch if I want to watch UFC, I don't have cable just because I don't use cable anymore. I don't like the idea of it. So if I want to watch the UFC, just like a fight night, I don't have to pay for it. But I need to have the subscription of $80 for the year, or like $100 for the year for ESPN. Then Netflix only has like movies or different shows. But if I want to watch a certain show, it might be on fucking Hulu, it might be on HBO, so I can't watch the movie just because they don't have the rights and the movie's not available in that streaming platform, for example. If I thought it was on Netflix, no, it turns out it's on Peacock, so now I can't watch it. But I want to watch like a soccer game, I have to watch Paramount, ESPN, or other sports. It's just so dumb how much money ends up going into it, because then But in the day, it's only $10, right? All right, but you have multiple subscriptions. That's like $50 a month you have to pay for it. Too much.
It's supposed to be the easier option from cable, but me and my wallet gotta do hat tricks bouncing around between services to even find the thing I wanna watch. And some might say, well, it's higher in demand, so higher prices. Ah, you greedy ass niggas. Y'all sounding like landlords right now. And I really like you, Netflix, but your catalogs are not good enough to be this expensive. I won't lie, the only reasons I pay for it now is because WWE Raw is on there, and I can't miss that. And because I be sharing my account with my family, and my mom be using it all the time. If it wasn't for those reasons, I'd be sailing the 7 seas. You hear that, Mom? It's your fault! I'm just kidding. I love you, Mommy. Speaking of home entertainment, homes. The housing market is a scam. The prices today for a house are insane. With the prices they're charging, you would at least think they are selling a spacious, accommodating home. But nah, in the city, it's like, yeah, we got this space at the Bronx. It's 10 square feet. The kitchen's in the bathroom and the toilet's in the sink. We're asking for $2,000 a month for a 2-year lease. It's in high demand. It'll be gone by tomorrow. So you gonna get it or not? Hell no!
Yo, I wonder if they're actually in high demand, because there's no way that someone actually wants to get that tiny ass studio where the kitchen is pretty much on top of the fucking bathroom, and then you're sleeping just like 5 steps away from it. I find it hard to believe that there's people that actually pay for that. You can't be that dumb to pay rent for that type of housing. But I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm fucking wrong that people actually want to live in those type of conditions where there's absolutely no space. And just, oh, boy, you live in the city. Alright, bro. You do you. You do you.
Don't want this? You selling me a glorified closet for courtside ticket prices just cause it's in the city? I'd rather sleep in the back of my car. It's just as big and the heater actually works. I knew I should have got a house during the 2008 financial crisis, but nah, I was too busy being in kindergarten, playing with toys and going to Chuck E. Cheese. I was such a bum. But the number one thing I'm most agitated about being expensive nowadays is food and groceries. I swear, the average grocery trip here today is gonna cost you $100+, and half of that's going to the eggs alone. And sometimes these food companies be keeping the same prices for their products, but making their sizes smaller. I'm looking at you, Tropicana. These new bottles ain't it. They shrunk their bottles 6 ounces, and they ain't even lower the price. So you paying more money for less OJ. I am now vitamin C deficient because of this. You might say I'm tweaking over a 6-ounce difference, but I know I'm not. Let me tell you an analogy real quick. You go to your plug. All the time they give you a 3.5 for the same price. You're satisfied. One day you hit them up, they pull up, but this time they give you 3 G's instead. Not only that, they hired the price for the same thing you've always been buying. How you feel then? You feel betrayed. You feel scammed. And if you ever find yourself in that situation, to that I say, bro, call the police. Call the police on them. They obviously don't care anything about customer satisfaction. I wish I can do the same thing with Tropicana, but the cops don't take distressing calls over orange juice bottles seriously. This is exactly why I'm ACAB, bro. Not only that, fast food, an American staple that's supposed to be...
Fast food, the whole thing why fast food was very big to begin with is because it was cheap for the average American. If you want to have like a quick meal, quick food, you go to fast food places. You go like McDonald's or something like that, right? McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, whichever one you fucking want. There's many of them. But the reason why people loved it is because it was so cheap compared to getting like actual food. But now the prices are so fucking high for these places that now it's pretty much around the same as if you went to a restaurant. It's around the same price. So, I don't fucking know. People still get it. Rest in peace, the 4 for $4 meal on Wendy's. That doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because inflation, I guess, wasn't profitable anymore. I don't know, man.
Cheap. Now I'll be doubling prices all the time. Like the McDonald's dollar menu don't even exist no more. It's called the value menu now. Selling sandwiches that used to cost $1 that are now almost $3. And they'll still find a way to get your order wrong. You might say, oh, they just adjusting for inflation.
Hey, you. Me. Yeah, you. Don't you want to play?
Ah, Don't give me that. If Arizona tea can still be 99 cents, then what's their excuse? It's McDonald's. They're not struggling. The only people struggling are the workers in there that are making the food. Not the people that be at the headquarters. But the fast food prices become even worse when ordering off of delivery apps. Buying a $10 meal turns into a $30 meal. The fees be taking advantage of us. I know this because I see it in my orders all the time. Let me show y'all something. Not long ago, I did an Uber Eats delivery for 2 items. One Haagen-Dazs ice cream because I'm a fatty, and one Dayquil because I was feeling a little sick. I only got these 2 items. I know I'm ordering them to be delivered, so I know they'll be a little more expensive than usual. But you'd expect this order to be like $20.
Yeah. How much we thinking? How much do you guys think it's gonna cost for these 2 items? The Haagen-Dazs and Dayquil, NyQuil. All right. Dayquil, NyQuil, maybe $12. $10-12 shouldn't be like up to $20, and the Haagen-Dazs, depending on size, I'm gonna say $5-6, $5-6, maybe $7, and plus the Uber Eats like fee. That's yeah, it's gonna have to be 30. It's gonna have to be 30 or like 25 around there. Max has to be my max. If it goes past that, that's way too much. Because, like, adding the fee and maybe you give the guy a little tip. All right.
Dollars max. Now, I want you to guess how much you think this order cost me. $30? Nah. $40? No, that's too generous.
What the
This
fuck?
order costed me $50. What is this? You can't justify this price to me. Is the delivery driver also gonna give me a good night kiss with my order? Because that's the only justification. By the way, the delivery man did not give me a good night kiss when he dropped off my order.
Yeah.
I got scammed. This should not be considered the new norm in the U.S. And some people seeing me complain about this might say, you're a YouTuber. Why are you complaining about this? You already got money. True. It do not matter. But I still like trying to save money, you know? Because nowadays, these sales aren't even sales. This isn't adjustment for inflation. This is corporate greed. These prices aren't gonna get cheaper, especially since the owners of these companies run the country now. Literally. As long as people keep paying for these products, no matter the price hike, it'll only get more expensive. So,
but that's not. Why would you do DoorDash or Uber Eats if you know you can't afford it? That is one thing that you should not fucking do. You have no money. Why are you like ordering food? I think you should drive. If he drove, he would have saved himself the $30 that took for him to get it delivered. If he did it himself, shit, that would have been like a full tank of gas if he did it himself. So if you're ordering food, if you're willing to spend it, if you have money to spend it, alright, spend it. I don't care. If you're scraping pennies to get by, you should not even have the app downloaded. Fucking all.
what is my solution to this economic crisis we are dealing with right now? Looting. I'm joking. I'm joking. This doesn't apply to small businesses in Costco. They're goated. But I'm joking. All right, that's really all I wanted to say. I just wanted to rant about modern day prices and my low-key bad financial decisions. Hopefully my message comes across even if you don't agree. Maybe you like spending 20 bucks on eggs. Who knows? That is all. And in conclusion, I don't know. Bye.
30.
Alright, I made some video, and yeah, the fucking prices to some things are just insane. Way too much. But yeah. Area Gamer, I don't know if you're still watching. It doesn't give me like anybody watching. Handfuls are working right now, can you chat instead? Alright, what am I gonna chat about? I'm reacting to a video. And what games do I stream the most? What games do I stream the most? None. I have not the capacity to stream games yet. I have absolutely no fucking viewers, and I'm just trying to get by it. So there will be no games, like as of right now. You know, once we get bigger and we actually have people watching us, I'll probably get to play some games. But as of right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking like I'm gonna be playing any games anytime soon. Probably next year, but I'll be looking forward to that. Alright, let's go on to our next video.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays for those who love family resorts and.
All right. So we're gonna be watching why you. So we're gonna be watching why you wouldn't survive a nuclear disaster by Chat History. All right. Somewhere remote, technically.
None of you working as a team. Where's the lamb sauce?
Those idiots always forget the lamb sauce.
Oh. Oh shit. First hour.
Well, that sucks. Looks like you are in for another round of survival. But hey, at least the witch wasn't part of this one, right? Right. So let's see what you're made of. I'm gonna go narrate from a safe distance. Good luck. All right, so first you're gonna need to assess any immediate damage and take stock of what you have. Or you could panic and make hasty decisions instead. See what happens when you panic? Now, take a deep irradiated breath and just think for a second here. Judging by the fact that the nuclear plant is like right there, it's safe to say that you're well within the danger zone. Hope that cheaper house price is worth it. Your immediate and best move is to go back into your house and shelter in place since you know that there's at least some food and water there. Make sure all of your windows and doors are sealed shut to keep out any unwanted radiation and/or people. Desperate times create desperate people. Also, try to stay in the center of your house or bunker down in the basement. You might also want to take the time to contact those you care about. Oh wait, in this hypothetical scenario, you're a complete loner who doesn't have much in the ways of loved ones. Except your buddy Ron. But you never invite him over. Oh well, the less people you have in your life, the less you have to be concerned about in an emergency situation. Who needs loved ones? Not you. Hypothetically, of course. Also, your phone has no signal thanks to extreme network congestion and plot convenient factors. They never work when you need them to. Speaking of people, be glad you're not out in that traffic jam. They're about to learn a thing or two about nuclear fallout. See, when a nuclear source detonates, that explosion will vaporize and launch a bunch of stinky radioactive material out over yonder. Fallout can come in many flavors, ranging from small sand-like particles to large heavy debris and even a mediocre franchise. Either way, this stuff is deadly. Any form of contact will likely result in radiation burns. What's radiation? It's just traveling energy. Heat from the sun? Radiation. Wi-Fi? Radiation. Your buddy Raymond from Japan? Radiation. These examples, though, are considered low-energy radiation, also known as non-ionizing radiation, meaning that they aren't strong enough to cause any physical harm, except Ray. Nuclear radiation, however, can, and it will. You can think of high-energy or ionizing radiation as a bunch of itty-bitty fists just penetrating your soft, vulnerable body and beating the ever-loving crap out of your internal molecules, particularly your DNA. Now here's a lesson for you.
Alright, that's a wrap.
Your DNA is your genetic information, passed on to you through many generations. Your mom, your dad, your grandparents too. Some from Emo Mary and the balls of Grandpa Lou. Looking like a ladder with a big old twist, it's pretty complicated, but you'll get the gist. All these little rungs determine all your bits. Brown eyes, quick wits, thick thighs or nice tits. Are you breathing without heaving, maybe blinking without thinking? Then thank your DNA for all the heavy lifting. Adenine for A, cytosine for C. Guanine is your G and thymine is your T. With the C to the G and the T to the A is what keeps you alive at the end of the day. Now, if this rhyme made your dopamine spike, then hit that subscribe or at least give a like. Thank you. Anyway, if you leave yourself unprotected, then all of that high energy radiation comes in and just gives your DNA a what for, severing them critical bonds and altering your genetic code, which will more or less lead to developmental issues and cancer down the road. One positive about nuclear fallout is that its radioactivity decay.
Yeah, but isn't like, I know radiation will very likely. I know radiation will very likely give you cancer, but isn't like the what's it called? What's the treatment to treat cancer? I'm pretty sure like they give you like a small dose of the radiation to like battle the cancer and end up like killing the cancer. I think that's a treatment for it. And it ends up working sometimes, not most of the times. But it is one of the treatments that can be done. But isn't like giving like small doses of that give you cancer also like battle out cancer? I don't know how that works.
very
From my
fast.
understanding.
According to the US Department of Health and Human Services, within the first 7 hours, the fallout has already lost 90% of its dose rate of radiation. If you wait a full 48 hours, that increases to 99%. Sure, I wouldn't advise making dust angels in it, but it's better than what happened to those traffic jam people.
Alrighty, know that.
Poor souls. The point is, patience and planning will get you through this. Ooh, looks like you got company. Yo, dude, it's Ron. Open up. The mysterious voice at the door, as he just identified himself, is Ron. He's your best and only friend going on 4 years now ever since you both wore that same shirt at that one bar at that one time. Bro. Yeah, guy friendships are that simple. Now Ron,
really are.
he's always had this weird obsession with end of the world scenarios like this, so I'm sure he will use this situation as a big ol' I told you so. I told you so. See? Of course I had to invite myself over, but dude, we gotta get a move on. Don't worry, I know what to do. I've sunk so many hours into Atomfall. Okay, sure, yeah, I'll just grab... Wait, what's Atomfall? I'm glad you asked. Atomfall is a brand new single-player first-person action survival game developed by Rebellion. You know, the studio behind Sniper Elite and Zombie Army. Why did I advertise? The Lake District of North will be little Aaron.
Oh, I think we can manage.
Remember, you're gonna have 5.
Alright, that was bad. I just got.
It's been a few weeks
Another
with Ron,
whole
and things are going
ad.
pretty well. Luckily, with like 3/4 of the population dying in gridlock, resources are still pretty plentiful. You've both managed to hunker down in a grocery store, which is conveniently constructed next to a home improvement facility. That's pretty neat. But let's face it, humans are opportunists. So
Yeah.
if there's chaos and confusion, people will take advantage. Sure, some looting and stuff happened, but oddly enough, the majority of things taken were TVs and shoes. And that's lucky for you, since those things are, as far as I know, inedible. Sure, you'd figure that the government...
I feel like if there was like an apocalypse in that sense, like there was a nuclear explosion, or like let's say zombies, or anything like that, anything comes that would like give out like tremendous amounts of looting, I feel like you'll be pretty retarded if you went into a store and start just taking TVs, especially with like a zombie. Why are you taking TVs instead of like food or like, I don't know, toilet paper? Anything that would be useful maybe, but no, you're taking a whole TV that probably won't fucking connect. So that's pretty dumb. I don't know, man.
might have helped out by now, but when the emergency services budget has been diverted to researching the long-term effects of Asmongold political commentary, there's not much for wiggle room.
Yeah, this is going to keep getting worse.
As for food, you want to prioritize anything that is sealed, especially with high water content, as they are the least likely to be affected by radiation since radiation can't swim. Things like canned meats, canned vegetables, and oh no way, they even have
Canned bread?
Since this grocery store has backup generators, refrigerated and frozen foods are still on the menu. If you can figure out a way to safely cook them, of course. Reactz. Uh-oh, looks like the store manager isn't too happy about you fingering his foods.
You'll have to pay for that, you know.
Time for a choice. What's a plumber's favorite drug? Huh? Crack. You said you weren't gonna. I lied. Ron, do you think we're gonna make it out of here? Of course, dude. Why do you ask? I just think we should be making progress away from here, away from all of this chaos and this radiation.
Yeah, why wouldn't we
I mean,
drive
sure,
away?
but it's all radioactive out there. Actually, all the radiation is being blown northwest of here. As long as you keep to the southeast for a few hundred miles, you should be good. So why haven't you left? Do you really care? No. Well, you probably want radiation suits like these ones just in case though, but these are for me and my son here. Can we have those? Hell no. Please? Okay, nice work. You've managed to figure out a way to safety, but you can't go unprepared. You're gonna need to find some equipment for the journey ahead. You shimmy your way over to the hardware place next door to look for supplies. With some luck, you're able to find some cloth, 3 logs, and a rope. With some elbow grease and a bit of know-how, you're able to craft these into something useful. That should work. You also grab a sweet axe as a precaution, placing all of the items in your back pocket to save precious time on animation. You ready?
Yo, if you guys were in the zombie apocalypse or in this case a radiation where people are looting, what gun are you taking? What type of arm would you like to carry? Like an axe, a bat, I don't know, a golf club? X-bow? No guns. Let's say no guns. I think I would go with, say, I'll probably go with the axe. Just because I feel like I could do a lot of damage with the axe. And you can also probably cut stuff with the axe. Either that or a metal bat. Because I feel like a metal bat would be kind of lighter than carrying a whole axe too. But yeah.
Ready to go, Ron? Let's do it. Oh, that needs some WD-40. Yep. You traverse through the remnants of the town and make your way towards the southeast. On your way, you pass by dozens of poor unfortunate souls who have succumbed to the effects of radiation poisoning. This stuff is not fun in the slightest. If your unprotected body gets absolutely assaulted by ionizing radiation, you're in for a world of hurt. Literally. I'm sure you're familiar with the famous Chernobyl nuclear disaster in 1986. The firefighters and operators during that event learned very quickly that death can be an invisible beast. After generous exposure to radiation emanating from the nuclear plant's reactor core, these men endured unfathomable pain and suffering for weeks. Immediate symptoms included radiation burns, intense nausea and vomiting, headaches, and diarrhea. Those that could be were rushed to the Pripyat hospital, where they had to be stripped of their contaminated clothes that continued to bombard their bodies with radiation, even while being miles from the original source. Those clothes were abandoned in the hospital's basement and are still down there emitting levels of radiation to this day.
I'm pretty sure there was like this one YouTuber or this one explorer that went down there to the place where the firefighters like threw away their suits, and the radiation was pretty much still alive. The same as the day that the whole accident happened. And that radiation, that shit's gonna last thousands of years. Like, that place is pretty much sealed off, and no one can go into like Chernobyl unless you're pretty much highly like protected from radiation. And I feel very bad for those firefighters because they all died in a horrible way. Their whole, like, imagine, like, first of all, there's no cure. Like, you're not being saved. They have no cure for the amount of radiation that you just took. And that whole time you're alive, your whole skin, every part of your skin is peeling off. Like, their whole arm, since it was like exposed to radiation, their whole arm is just, the skin of it just disintegrated, slowly got burned away. They couldn't stop it. I don't know how the whole thing works, but I remember like watching the documentary about it. It was horrible. I feel so bad.
Be it not nearly as dangerous. Over the following weeks, these men's bodies severely deteriorated, forming painful burns and bleeding blisters with extreme hair loss and a constant state of confusion and dizziness. In the end, 28 firefighters who responded to the Chernobyl disaster died of acute radiation syndrome. But there's nothing cute about being turned into a human hemorrhoid. Now, luckily, you're past the point of this being a problem for you. It's probably best if you trail off from the beaten path. After all, you never know if any of the other survivors you encounter will be friend or foe. You trek through the woods for a few days, living off of various non-perishables and bottled water from your convenient office, but supplies are starting to run a bit low and you think you might need to start foraging. But hold on, remember that nuclear contamination can spread far beyond the original site, even if it isn't directly downwind. So animals, plants, and water sources original site.
That would have been all of Europe. To where Chernobyl happens, the whole area, if it had spread that much, all of those areas would have died. Like, it says, while the nuclear fallout close to Chernobyl, mainly Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and Saskir of the northern hemisphere, fluctuating winds meant some areas were affected worse than others. So yeah, all that radiation, that's how much it traveled from the original site. And keep in mind that they actually were able to stop it, luckily. But if it ended up getting like on the rivers and like the atmosphere, dude, that would have been so much worse. Like, if we got into the fucking water, all that drinking water would not be drinkable at all. It would be like polluted.
light, even if it isn't directly downwind. So animals, plants, and water sources can still be contaminated. So unless you carry a reverse osmosis filtration plant between your cheeks, you're SOL. Looks like you need to search elsewhere for food and water. But it also looks like Ron is about to be in danger. Oh, look at this little fella.
You want ads that drive results. That's why we built Roku Ads Manager. Sign up at ads.roku.com.
This game, you're not ready.
You gotta come over here and take a look at this little powder puff. He's so dang cute. Ron? What?
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Not running a bear.
There! A cave! Bears hate caves! Good enough for me. You might want to hurry up a bit. We made it. You okay, Ron? Ron?
There goes Ron.
Are you okay? You take the time to mourn the loss of your one friend, but the solemn silence is broken by a noise deeper in the cave. You even notice some light and are determined to investigate. Now, under normal circumstances, you really shouldn't be wandering willy-nilly into a cave like this to end up trapped or wedged in some narrow cave system dubbed Satan's Prolapse. But there is an angry bear outside that just murdered your friend, so this might be a better alternative. Let's see what lies ahead. Hello? 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 I hate cultists. Well, that was certainly a choice. Looks like you're the new owner of a weird little worshipping cave. Probably some sweet loot here. You scavenge and swipe what you can. Some food, materials, but something else catches your eye. Well, that's definitely magical, but certainly evil. And there's an inscription underneath. Survival you have learned, so now you must return. Just flip me thrice, but some advice, that witch will need to burn. Are you really gonna trust some evil artifact you just found in a cultist's cave? Why not?
Yeah,
Alley-oop. I'm back. Hey, Cityville nuclear power plant? We have a witch problem. No, this isn't a prank. Hey, Ron, do you want to come over?
Where's the lamb sauce?
Well, that was fun, right? If you want to try your hand at survival, use my links below to play Adamfall and...
But yeah, honestly, I don't think I would make it just because of the amount of like things that I wouldn't know about a nuclear disaster like that. But I think I would be able to make it pretty far if it was like zombie apocalypse. I think so. Because I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere right now. So I wouldn't only have to worry about like big cities. I think I'll be fine for a while. And yeah, I think I would do just fine for a while at least. If it was a zombie apocalypse. But if it was a radiation disaster, I don't think I would have that much knowledge to know what to do. Like I learned not drive your car away from the city because the first hours are gonna be like crazy fallout of degree of like fucking nuke. What was I saying? Because the first few hours of you leaving the city is probably where the most radiation is gonna be in the air. So they say just wait. But yeah, amazing video, and we'll be moving on to the next one. You know, one person watching. Let's go. Hell yeah. But this is probably me. Been on for an hour. That's amazing. We still have a lot of videos to watch. Or a lot of videos that I won't get through today, at least.
Let's say I'm working on a research paper about the future of renewable energy, and I come across a study with findings.
Right, this is gonna be a really good video to watch. You don't even know. You don't even know what's coming. Alright. So we're gonna be watching Did the Future Already Happen? The Paradox of Time by Kurtsengat. Fuck it. In a nutshell.
Do your past, present, and future all exist right now? Are you watching this video being born and
does.
lying on your deathbed at this very moment? Surprisingly, the answer could be yes.
Yeah.
But how can that be? What does that even mean? How does time work? The block universe. Imagine the universe like a child painting pictures on paper. Each picture shows everything that's happening in the universe in a single moment. With each new moment, all kinds of things occur everywhere. People are born and die, galactic civilizations expand, you miss the bus. And our universe kid makes a new picture that replaces the old one. In this way, you get something like a movie. Only the moment we're in right now is real. The past is what happened before. Now it's gone. The future is still to come and hasn't been drawn yet. This is kind of how time feels, right? Each moment being replaced by the next one. The past is far behind us, the future doesn't exist. But what if time is something else? What if the universe kid has already finished all its drawings and stacks them on top of each other? This way, we get a block of time that contains the whole history of the universe. All moments that have ever existed or will ever exist. But in this block, in this stack of moments, the past, the present, and the future are equally real and exist at the same time.
So that means, so what that pretty much means, from what I'm getting, is that there's a person of you that's just been born, and one that just pretty much died, and the one that you're living on right now, where just whatever you're doing right now is your current present. So right now, your current present, just watching this video. Hell yeah.
This feels wrong. The only things that we perceive as real are those things happening now. How can the past and future be real right now?
Yeah.
The problem is that according to the theory of relativity, they kind of have to be. Heavily simplified, relativity says that time and space are not separated, but one connected space-time. When you move through space, you're also moving through the block. This means time passes differently for different people, depending on how they move through space relative to each other. And this also means that what someone perceives as now is a certain cut along the block, a cut that will depend on how fast they're moving. So what you think is now is really only your now. There are many different nows in the universe, and all of them are equally real. This also means there's no universal past or future. Okay, this is a lot.
Yeah.
How does this work? Imagine 3 alien spaceships a million light years away.
Okay.
The first one just hovers in space, not moving relative to you. You both experience the same now, the same present. If you had a magical instantaneous internet connection, you could do a video call right now and chat about alien things. The second spaceship is flying away from us at 30 kilometers a second, about 3 times faster than a human rocket. It's moving differently through the block of time than you are, which means its now is different from yours. With the magical internet,
We're back.
the aliens can talk to your ancestors in 1924, when humanity was discovering the first galaxies outside the Milky Way. The third spaceship wants to visit Earth and is flying towards you at 30 kilometers a second, moving at the opposite angle of the second ship through the block of time. It experiences yet another now. With the magical internet, the aliens can talk to your descendants in the year 2124, when humanity has already built cities on Mars and Venus. Okay, so we have 3 different nows. So which one is correct? Well, that's the problem. Relativity is based on one powerful principle: cosmic democracy. The fact that the point of view of all observers in the universe is equally valid. All those nows have to be equally real. But if this is the case, your past, present, and your future all have to exist at the same time right now. Because for the different aliens, they all happen in their present. This means that the distinction between the past, the present, and the future is an illusion. The universe is not a bunch of things evolving through time like in a movie, but a static block in which the past, the present, and the future all coexist and are real. How can that be? Well, think about a galaxy outside the observable universe, too far away to ever visit or see. But even if you can't get there and don't see it, it's still real. The future might be the same. But if the past is not far behind us and the future actually exists, then there is no movie. Things don't happen in the universe. The universe just is, like a frozen block of dead cosmic ice, with everything that will ever happen already written and decided. Is the future already written? If all times coexist and are equally real, then the future has to be already written. But that's not how you experience things. It feels like you can mold your future with your decisions. It really feels like you're free to choose to stop watching YouTube to not miss the bus. But if the future is set in stone, you can't decide anything. So are your choices an illusion? Well, maybe. Maybe your free will is a mirage, and maybe you missing the bus was already predetermined at the Big Bang. So feel free to continue watching.
So if this theory is real, that means that whatever you do was already pre-planned. So that means that whatever you do tomorrow already happened. So that's the past. But that's also the present, and that's also the future. If you're looking at it from yesterday. Fuck, that's... I just said... I don't know that what I said makes fucking sense, dude. So pretty much whatever you do is already pre-planned, if this theory is correct. So there's a version of you that got married, that had kids, depending on where you look at it from, how far away you are. So there is no free will, it's just something that already happened. So free will doesn't really exist. It just feels like it because you're in the present. Fuck, dude.
Except quantum stuff is ruining everything again. Quantum processes can't be predicted, not even in principle. Not because we're silly and don't know how to do it. According to quantum physics, quantum particles are intrinsically random. For example, if you have a radioactive atom, it could decay at any moment, in the next second or in the next million years. We can calculate the probability that it will decay tomorrow, but no oracle in the universe will ever be able to tell you with absolute certainty if it will do so or not. But quantum particles can change the world. Imagine a radioactive element randomly decays and causes a genetic mutation in a nearby mammal. And then many generations later, that mutation has led to a weird mix of duck and mammal that makes no sense. Or the atom decays a day later, and the weird creature will never exist. If quantum stuff is really uncertain, the future can't be set in stone. But if the future is an untold story, it can't be real in the same way as the past is. So what happens when uncertain things like the decay of our atom become real? Is that moment the present? Is this now? But before we saw that cosmic democracy makes it impossible to define an absolute now. What's going on here? It turns out that for every individual object, you, an alien, an atom, the past, the present, and the future are always well defined. Your death will always happen after your birth, never before, and never at the same time. Now you are clearly between your birth and your death. So for you at least, now makes perfect sense. If we don't play tricks like going to the other side of the universe and using aliens in funny ways to find out what now means, things again start to look ordered and nice, and individual nows seem to exist. Can we do something with them? Let's return to our block universe. Maybe the block does not contain the future, and maybe we just imagined it wrong. Maybe the block is just the past, and a thin layer on the surface is the present. That surface is not smooth, but bumpy and uneven. It's been made by joining countless individual nows, each experienced by someone or something in the universe, each equally real and valid. And all observers do their bit, so cosmic democracy is still true. As new things happen and uncertain things become certain, radioactive atoms decay, new species of mammals arise, people miss the bus, the border moves upwards, creating new time in the universe. Instead of a frozen block of time with a future that has already been written, the block is growing and things happen. You can again decide your future. Maybe leave earlier so you won't miss the bus. What is real then? Let's recap. We started with time as a movie, one now after another, where only the current now was real. Then we found out that because of relativity, there are multiple nows, all of them real somehow, which could mean that we're living in a frozen block universe where things don't happen and you don't really have free will. And we ended up with a kind of growing block universe where time passes and the future is open. So which is correct? What is real? The present? The past? Are the dinosaurs as real as you are right now? What do the aliens on the other corner of the universe think about all this? To be honest, no one knows. What we've learned are two possibilities to describe time, but they're not the only ones. Some scientists think that the idea of now only makes sense near you, but not in the universe as a whole. Others think that time itself doesn't even exist, that the whole concept is an illusion of our human mind. And others think that time does exist, but that it's not a fundamental feature of the universe. Rather, time may be something that emerges from a deeper level of reality, just like heat emerges from the motion of individual molecules, or life emerges from the interactions of lifeless proteins. We could go on, but aren't you about to miss the bus? The concept of time is abstract and elusive, possibly beyond complete human comprehension. Fortunately, there's a vast world of things we do understand about the universe that you can explore right now, thanks to our friends at Brilliant.org. Brilliant has thousands.
Alright, bro. Alright, that was it. That was it for the video. Damn, so that... So after watching that, do you guys think that there is a possibility that we're able to travel in time as humans? We're able to go back to the past or on to the future? Is that a thing? I feel like if anything, we're able to go back to the past, but not to the future. Because the future doesn't yet exist. It won't make sense, but the past does exist. So if we're able to go back into the past, there's no way of people coming back into the future or the present. Because you can't travel forward, but you can travel backwards, so... Damn. That's probably a theory, but... It was just so much thrown at me, because... It is a paradox of time. It does kind of make sense, but... Damn. It kind of trips me out that that whatever you're thinking about is already like predetermined. That's kind of trippy. So they're like different realities too, because there's also a thing that he said that if one molecule moves a certain other way, a whole different reality is created. So that means that there could be a bunch of different realities, millions, billions, trillions of realities of where you did a different thing. Damn. Alright. Amazing video, and I'm gonna stop because I can hear my roommate singing in the bathroom. Alright. Amazing stream. Thank you for people that came in. AryGamer99. My headphones aren't working right now. Can you chat instead? I was kind of chatting, and which games do you stream the most? I don't stream games that much. Not yet, at least. I would love to into the future, but as of right now, just streaming Reactz for now. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.